In this video, we are going to look at different types of defense mechanisms for attacks which are targeting different protocols. First, let's take a look at different common defense technologies or defense mechanisms which can be implemented. We can use the first packet discarding mechanism. In the first packet discarding mechanism, what the firewall does is that the firewall, in order to protect a target server or a target resource, what the firewall does is that the firewall, when it receives a SYN message or a synchronization message from the attacker, the firewall discards the packet. Normally what the attackers do is that they do not send, if a packet is discarded, they do not send another packet. So if the firewall does not receive another packet, or if the packet is not retransmitted by the attacker, the firewall will know that this was an attack packet, and that packet will not be allowed to go through the target. However, if a packet is dropped, and based on the 3-tuple record, that is the source IP, the source port, and the source protocol, if it receives another packet, if the firewall receives another packet after discarding the first packet, if the firewall receives another packet, which is a retransmitted packet from the source, which matches this 3-tuple information, firewall will know that the source has retransmitted the packet because the first packet was discarded by the firewall. This means that the source is a genuine source, so the firewall will allow this packet to go through and the target can respond to this packet. This is called the first packet discarding mechanism. Another mechanism which is commonly used on the firewall for defending against the attacks is the traffic blocking and limiting. The firewall can either block the traffic based on blacklisting of the traffic, or the firewall can limit the rate at which the traffic can be received or the traffic can be passed through the firewall. If the traffic exceeds that rate limiting value, then the firewall is going to drop that traffic. Then the firewall can also implement filtering based on specific protocol types, because different protocols can require different filtering techniques. So firewall can check against, or firewall can implement this filtering for different protocols, including IP, TCP, UDP, HTTP, DNS, etc. The next important concept associated with filtering or defense mechanism is the blacklisting and the whitelisting. Blacklisting technique is used for defending the traffic coming from attackers. What the firewall does is that the firewall adds the IP address of the attacker to the blacklist. Any traffic coming from that particular IP is not going to be allowed to go through the firewall. Similarly, if the firewall has made sure or firewall has ensured that certain type of traffic is safe traffic and it's not an attack traffic, then the firewall is going to add the IP address of, or the source IP address of that source to a whitelist, so that when the traffic comes, next traffic or next packets come from that source, the firewall is going to allow that traffic to go through without going through the checking process. This means that this is a valid source, this is a genuine source, and this is not an attack source. Let's take a look at using these attack mechanisms and certain other attack mechanisms. Let us take a look at how we can protect against, or how the Huawei firewall can protect against specific attacks which are targeting the vulnerabilities in the TCP protocol. Let's take a look at TCP packet attacks and how we can protect or defend against that. First, let's look at how the TCP handshake, three-way handshake mechanism works. Whenever a client wants to access a server, it sends a request in which the SYN bit or the SYN flag, synchronization flag, is set. When this packet is received by the server sends a SYN ACK, where the SYN bit and the ACK bit both are set to 1. Then after receiving the SYN ACK, the client sends an ACK message where the ACK bit is set and the connection is established between the client and the server. This is called the TCP, the famous TCP three-way handshake. SYN, ACK, and ACK messages are exchanged between the client and the server. Once the handshake has happened, then the data is exchanged between the client and the server. After the data exchange has been completed between the client and the server, the client can actually terminate the connection, end the connection by sending a FIN bit, a FIN message in which the FIN bit is set. The server responds with an ACK message and then sends its own FIN message, to which the client responds with its own ACK message. After these four-way termination or connection ending mechanism has been completed, then the connection between the client and the server is ended. This is the normal TCP connection establishment and connection tear down mechanism, the normal mechanism between a client and the server. However, the attackers exploit this mechanism and generate attacks towards specific servers. When some of these attacks happen, we need to defend our resources, our servers from these attacks. Let's see how we can defend our servers against these attacks. For example, here we can see that the source is sending a lot of SYN messages towards the server. We call this a SYN flood attack. In case of a SYN flood attack, the server is, the client or the attacker is sending SYN messages one after the other. The server is responding with the SYN ACK messages. However, the attacker is not replying with the ACK messages in return so that the three-way handshake can be completed. And the attacker is only sending the SYN messages. In this situation, the server ends up with a large number of half-open connections. Connections which have not been completed. The three-way handshake has not been completed, and we call these connections half-open connections. And these half-open connections actually consume a lot of resources on the server, and the server then cannot service the real request coming from the actual users, and this is a kind of denial of service attack on the server. In order to protect against these attacks, what we can do is that we can have source authentication against the forged sources. In this case, the firewall intervenes between when this is enabled, when a SYN flood attack defense is enabled on the firewall. What the firewall does is that the firewall protects the target server so that when the attacker sends SYN messages to the firewall responds with the SYN ACK messages. Instead of forwarding this message to the server, the firewall responds with the SYN ACK message. If an ordinary attacker would not respond with the ACK message to the firewall, and the firewall will know that this is an attacker, and the firewall is going to blacklist the source IP. However, a genuine or a real client, when the firewall responds to the SYN message with a SYN ACK, the client would respond with an ACK message. Now, this ACK message will indicate to the firewall that this is a real client, this is not an attacker. So the firewall will send a reset message. This is another TCP flag, will send a message with the reset flag enabled, which is actually asking the client to re-establish the connection. Next time the same client, when it sends a SYN message, the firewall now knows that this is a trusted source, and it is going to forward this request to the target server, and the target server will then establish a connection, a normal TCP connection with this client. However, once the firewall whitelists or the firewall allows certain source IP address to establish connection with the server, still the firewall will keep monitoring the behavior of that particular client or the connections that are being established by that client with the server. So what happens is that if the client later on, after being added to the whitelist or after establishing the initial connection, if then the client is used to generate an attack towards the server, the firewall should be able to protect against that attack. So the firewall constantly keeps an eye, keeps a watch on the number of SYN messages against the ACK messages. So if the ACK messages coming from a source is less than or far less than the SYN messages or the SYN ACK messages or other FIN or reset messages, this means that this is not genuine traffic, this is not real traffic, and this is attack traffic, because in TCP, normally ACK messages should also be coming in continuously from the sources. So if the ACK messages are not coming in, then this means that probably the behavior is not normal, and the firewall needs to check and probably block the source. Similar to SYN messages or SYN flood attacks are the SYN ACK flood attacks, in which once again the attacker is sending a lot of SYN ACK messages, and the SYN-ACK messages, when received by the server, do not match any of the sessions which are already established or any of the connections which are already established at the server. So the server cannot process these SYN-ACK messages, and a lot of server resources are consumed in an attempt to process these SYN-ACK messages. When we ask the firewall to protect the server against these SYN-ACK messages, what the server is going to do is that the server is going to check these messages against the sessions or against the connections within itself, and it is going to send a SYN message. Because this attacker is not going to send a SYN-ACK against the SYN, so it will be known that this is an attacking source and it is going to be blacklisted, and the traffic is not allowed to go through to the server. However, if we send a SYN message and the client sends a SYN-ACK message, this means that this is a genuine client sitting here, and so that is why it is sending a SYN-ACK message. So the next time when the client sends a SYN-ACK message, the firewall is going to allow this SYN-ACK message to go through to the server, because the firewall knows that this is a real server, and this SYN-ACK message is going to most probably have a valid connection information or a session information on the target server. So this way the firewall has successfully protected our network or protected our resource against the SYN-ACK flood messages. Similarly, an attacker can generate a lot of ACK messages towards the server. The attack mechanism is that the attacker generates a lot of acknowledgements or generate a lot of ACK messages from different source IP addresses towards the server. The server, in order to try to look at the connections which exist against those ACK messages, cannot find those connections because these are randomly generated ACK messages. So the server is going to consume a lot of its resources, and the server might crash, or the server might not be able to serve the real requests coming from the real users. In order to check against this, we can configure the firewall to enable the session check and the payload check, which means that the firewall is going to check against the valid session entries, whether the session exists within the firewall or not, and also check against the payload to see to see if the ACK messages are carrying huge payloads. Because these ACK messages, normally ACK messages do not carry a lot of payload, but these ACK messages carry huge payloads, which is an indication to the firewall that these are the ACK messages which are being used for generating attacks on the servers. Then we can also have the FIN reset flood attack. In the FIN reset flood attack, we can see that the attacker is generating a lot of FIN or reset messages which the server cannot process because the server does not have any connections or sessions established against these FIN and reset messages. So the server once again is going to get confused, and it's going to consume a lot of resources trying to process these messages. In this case, once again, the firewall is going to set a threshold on the maximum number of FIN reset messages, and is going to check for valid session entries on the firewall to see if these FIN and reset messages are against real connections which are already established with the server. If not, then the firewall is going to discard these packets. So these are the different types of TCP flag attacks or TCP based attacks which can be generated by the attackers. We have looked at these attacks and the defense mechanisms against them. In the next video, we are going to look at different UDP and DNS based attacks, so in which we will see how we can protect our network against the UDP and DNS attacks.